Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, attempted sexual assault in one of the residence halls. We'll fill you in.
And later, Senator Joni Ernst makes her way into town. We'll have the coverage from that event coming your way.
The Hawkeyes hung with one of the top teams in the country, but were not able to come out on top.
And we caught up with one in Hawkeye who takes tailgating to a whole other level.
Temperatures finally cooled down this week. Find out more in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Monday morning edition of Daily Iowan TV.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Iowan TV starts right now.
Good morning and thanks for tuning in. I'm Alexis Tansey.
And I'm Ethan Gutstein. Early Saturday morning, students received a Hawkeye Alert in regards to an assault at Mayflower Residence Hall. Police arrived at the dorm around 4:30 a.m. The suspect had fled at that point and officers were unable to locate him. Officers said they gathered as much information about the incident as possible and issued the Hawkeye Alert around 6 a.m. UI Police will release more information when it becomes available. Stay tuned with Daily Iowan as we bring you the latest updates.
An Iowa City man is facing charges of third-degree kidnapping, first-degree harassment, and domestic abuse after two incidents that occurred in the last few weeks. Last week, Thomas Huber, age 57, began to yell at the woman in his home. It happened at 2018 Waterford Drive, accusing her of hiding his glass meth pipe from him. The woman told police he began to punch, slap, and hit her with his hands and other objects. Iowa City Police domestic abuse investigator Scott Stevens learned about this incident when following up on a second abuse on the same woman that occurred about a week later. If convicted of all charges, Huber could spend up to 20 years in prison.
Healthcare, affordable education, Planned Parenthood. All these topics have become more controversial in recent years. U.S. Republican Senator Joni Ernst held a town hall meeting at the University of Iowa last Friday to respond to Iowans' concerns. Reporter Tien Liu has more at the town hall meeting.
Crowded, noisy, dissatisfied. It was how people reacted at Iowa Town Hall, which was held by U.S. Republican Senator Joni Ernst at the University of Iowa last Friday. Nearly 750 people filled up the hall and peppered Senator Ernst with questions throughout the hour-long meeting. Lots of questions only received rhetoric answers with no clear response. Most of the people were disappointed. All the green agree signs holding when people asked questions usually immediately turned red during Senator Ernst's answer. Several people even walked out with yelling, "We hear enough." More than two attendees were forced to leave by the police. After the town hall, hundreds of people attended the rally holding at Hubert Park nearby MU. In fact, the rally started ahead of the town hall.
The goal of this event and other events has always been be there, take action, make your voice heard.
The rally organizer Emiliano Martinez added that someone chose to walk out during the town hall, but it was not a part of their choice.
We can't give in to parliamentary tactics on this stuff. We have to ensure that we're working hard to make sure our voices are heard.
Like Martinez, there were more people from the community involved in the peaceful rally.
We need to stand up and let people know and let Joni Ernst know that we refuse to be divided on this issue, and we need to stand united and be an inclusive and welcoming community for all people.
Everything sounds intense, but it takes time. Reporting from Hubert Park, Tien Liu, Daily Iowan TV.
If you or a family member needs assistance of any kind.
On Friday, Dance Marathon held the second annual Dancing in Our Hearts Walk. The walk honored those who have passed on after fighting pediatric cancer. The event took place in Lower City Park, with the walk being nearly a mile long. To conclude the event, families were able to share their memories and stories afterwards. There was a balloon release to honor those who have passed. Well, I heard that event was beautiful, and I heard the weather was beautiful that night too.
I know, right? So this weekend was actually the first weekend of fall, but it still felt like summer. Isn't that crazy? Let's toss it to Susanna in the weather studio to find out what what the weather is for this week.
Thanks, Ethan. This week is looking much cooler than last week, though. We will see a high of 89 degrees today. Tuesday, we have a chance of scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon, and the high will reach 80 degrees. Now let's take a look at our 5-day extended forecast. Wednesday, the high will only reach 72 degrees with partially cloudy skies, and during the night, we will see a low of 48 degrees. Thursday, the high will be 76 degrees, but from there on out, highs for the rest of this week are looking to stay in the mid to lower 70s. We will end the week on Sunday with partial cloudy skies, a high of 73 degrees, and a low of 53 degrees. And we have a quick update on the 6.1 magnitude earthquake that occurred Saturday morning and was centered in Oaxaca, Mexico, as well as a 4.5 magnitude earthquake that happened later that night in the same city. This earthquake follows the 7.1 magnitude earthquake that happened on Tuesday near Mexico City and the 8.1 earthquake on September 8th that struck off the southern Pacific coast near Chiapas State. These two most recent quakes were strong enough magnitude to produce strong shaking and extensive damage to unstable structures and moderate damage to more stable structures. That's all we have for weather. Stay tuned with Daily Iowan TV to keep up with the latest updates. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Susanna. Construction is nearly complete on the College of Engineering's new building addition. Daily Iowan TV's Kaylin Cluck brings us an early look at the college's new annex space.
Life at the College of Engineering is about to change forever. In the next 2 weeks, students and faculty will finally move into the Annex, a 65,000 square foot addition to the Siemens Center. Officials from the College of Engineering said they weren't quite ready to reveal the new Annex in full yet, but they were willing to offer a sneak preview of the space students can look forward to using in the spring. A massive increase in college enrollment over the past 10 years made more classrooms and research space necessary. The addition cost around $37 million and is expected to have a LEED Platinum certification.
All of the energy usage individually in all the classrooms is metered in a way that student projects can connect with the building. It can become a living laboratory in its own right, where the very building and the very rooms where people are taking classes are something they could investigate.
I'm super excited because it means I get to use it for the majority of the time I'm on campus. And I'm excited that all the new study spaces that it has to offer, it has new labs, and I feel like it'll be a great way to learn.
Officials say they're also thrilled about the new plaza between the Seaman and Lindquist centers that features bioswales for water filtration. Some engineering students will be able to use the new Annex Fluids Lab as soon as October 9th. Reporting for Daily Iowan TV, I'm Kaylin Cluck.
President Donald Trump has been in a feud with some of the professional athletes in the sports world over patriotism. He criticized some NFL and NBA players on Twitter for kneeling during the national anthem and refusing invitations to go visit him at the White House. He said that playing for a sports league is a privilege and players should not be able to disrespect the American flag or the U.S. without the risk of being fired. Athletes have responded to Trump negatively on Twitter and by public statement. The Golden State Warriors issued a statement saying that they have accepted Trump's disinvitation to the White House, but they will still travel to D.C. in February, quote, to celebrate equality, diversity, and inclusion. So speaking of football, our Hawkeyes almost beat the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah, it was a tough loss, but it was a hard game till the end, and I'm glad that I got to watch it. Let's toss it over to the sports studio and to find out more about Saturday's football game.
Yeah, guys, it was a heartbreaker for Hawkeye fans this week. The Iowa football team led number 4 Penn State 19-15 with just 1 minute and 36 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
That's right, and right before Penn State quarterback Trace McSorley put together an 80-yard drive ending with a last-second go-ahead touchdown to beat the Hawks 21-19. But before the game kicked off on Saturday, Daily Iowan TV's Bo Bowman tailgated with the Hawkeye legend Niall Kinnick.
Let me educate you about who Niall Kinnick is, because you go to the University of Iowa and you need to know this.
During Kinnick's 1939 senior season, he became the only University of Iowa football player to win the Heisman Award. Kinnick left the University of Iowa, but instead of going pro, he enlisted into the Naval Air Reserve. In June 1943, Kinnick was on a training flight off the coast of South America when his plane went down and his body was never found. Today, we still honor and remember Kinnick, and one Hawkeye fan is committed to continuing his legacy. And he kind of looks like him, too.
I hear that I look like Niall Kinnick a lot from a lot of other people, and so it's not uncommon for me to, on my flag walk, or even just around town, not even in football season, I just hear, Niall!
Nick Tomlanovic has gone to every single Hawkeye game since 2008 dressed as Niall Kinnick, and this past Saturday was a special milestone for him.
I haven't missed a home or away game since. It's been 100 straight today. I've always kind of told myself I'll do it till it's not fun anymore, and then we'll transition to something new.
Today marks the 100th consecutive game for Tom Lonovic, and some of his tailgating friends from all across the country have poured into Iowa City to help him celebrate. Some even brought him gifts like a new flag and a pink visitors' lawn chair, an ode to the visitors' locker room inside of Annex Stadium. Tom Lonovic brings the character to life right in front of the real Niall Kinnick statue.
And we walk the flag around the stadium, we end at the Kinnick statue, and we recite Niall Kinnick's Heisman speech in full, just so people remember and know what a real Heisman winner was like.
A commitment and a respect for long-standing traditions.
I thank God I was warring on the gridirons of the Midwest and not the battlefield.
In Iowa City, Bo Bowman, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The big question of this weekend's game was how the Iowa defense would match up against the reigning Big Ten Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley. Lucy Rodin has more on the defense's tough challenge.
So far this season, the Iowa defense had not lived up to their reputation as the most physical defense in the Big Ten, but that all had to change as potential Heisman winner running back Saquon Barkley came to Kinnick.
You know, the running back's a special player. I don't know if I've seen many better or any better in my 19 years back here. So, you know, he's a tough guy to tackle. Looked like we had him stopped, and, you know, next thing you know, he's going further down the road.
Whenever you play against, I'm a competitor, so when I play against the best and I have fun, I accepted the challenge. I think us as a defense accepted the challenge.
Barkley and the Penn State offense racked up 579 total yards in 39 minutes of possession time. But despite that, Iowa went into the final 2 minutes of the game up 19-15.
This is the perspective of Penn State quarterback Trace McSorley as he delivered the final blow, defeating Iowa 21-19 and crushing 70,000 hearts in the process.
As a defense, that's our job, to put out the fire, come out there and do fundamental defense, and give the offense a chance, and that's what we tried to do all day today. You know, I think it was you know, a good team game, but you know, they came out and they beat us.
Unfortunately, as a defense, we couldn't come up with a stop when we needed it most, and that's something that hurts, because that's something you know, we want to take pride in. We want to, you know, be able to do is finish games for us, and we just weren't able to get it done today.
Iowa will have to bounce back from this loss next week when they head to East Lansing. Reporting on Iowa football, this has been Lucy Rodin for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Saquon Barkley had 305 yards of total offense, so I think we'll be seeing him at the Heisman Trophy Awards ceremony in December.
That's a safe bet, but that's all we have for you today in the sports studio.
Be sure to tune in tonight to Around the Big Ten with Lucy Rodin and Natalie Acapeti on the Daily Iowans TV YouTube channel.
And make sure to tune in tomorrow morning to hear more about the Hawkeye football game from Saturday, if you can handle it.
Guys, back to you.
The Iowa First Quarter Wave, Iowa's newest and most heartwarming tradition, got its first Under the Lights experience on Saturday night. During the Hawkeyes' first night game of the season, the stadium filled with cell phone lights as Hawkeye fans alike took the chance to wave to the children at the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. While it was a tough loss for the Hawkeyes, this special moment brought smiles to many faces. The new tradition of the First Quarter Wave was started this season to give fans the chance to connect with those at the Children's Hospital across the street.
Well, that's all we have for you on this Monday morning edition of Daily Iowan TV. Stay tuned for all the latest news from Monday to Friday.
On the run, don't forget to check out the Daily Iowan newspaper. Pick one of the copies up outside of the Daily Iowan on the newsstands outside.
For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Alexis Tansey.
And I'm Ethan Gutstein. Have a great day, Iowa City, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow morning.
Long before we knew they existed. Dottie Ray, a revolutionary trailblazer, an Iowa City radio personality for over 50 years. Foundation builder for journalists. Please join us in sharing Dottie Ray's story on the big screen. After the showing, a panel discussion about Dottie's life will follow. It's all part of Habitat for Humanity's She Built the Future. For more information, please contact Habitat for Humanity.